Good evening, or good morning. I've no gear on. I'm lying on the bunk at the moment, and I see an alive the Holy Father, Pope Francis, resist the threat to marriage and family from false ideology. Well, I'd be very much behind him, because I'm not going to say what I don't believe in. I believe that every parent, and there's a male and a female, and you cannot interfere with this type of marriage or you'll be big trouble. It'll be big trouble ahead. They can destroy the family with all this legislation. Control. And I speak of Ireland and UK, where they can't slap a child. I don't mean you have to hit a child hard or anything like that. It means that there was a wee bit of social control before with kids. When I was a young lad, and maybe 10 years, 20 years after me, children was afraid, and they respected police, they respected older people. But now, with the erosion of the family, we had the nuclear family when everyone lived, you know, like the mommy, daddy knew all your cousins, and if you lived in a small neighbourhood like here, you would know where any was going that left the house. Then we got the nuclear family, 2 parents and maybe 2.2 kids, and you wouldn't know your relations. But now we've drifted further than that. We've gone now to a new family. I haven't heard in social science what they're calling it. It's more or less a 1-parent family the whole time, and it's getting even away from that. Now we're going to have 2 men, and how are you going to call a mommy and a daddy to 2 men or 2 women? 2 daddies and 2 mommies. Well, in some cases it may work, but I would certainly not want the Constitution of Ireland changed, which our forefathers and all that have fought for, and the same in the United Kingdom. The Christian values, no way I would accept, and I would be inclined to get militant if necessary, because I think it's past time for being nice by in the world. We have to defend rights and human rights. If we destroy the marriage system altogether, the family of a man and a woman, we're heading for the road to disaster. If people wants to get into some other relation for economic reasons, 2 men or 2 women, that should be set up separately. But there should not. It should be in addition to the Constitution. It shouldn't destroy traditional marriage values. And that goes for different religions and different people. No, you need a mommy and a daddy if you're a communist too. You still need a mommy and a daddy. You need that love and the family love to be brought up. Otherwise, you can't trust kids. You give them too much independence and a lot of corruption in society. If you change that law, and when you vote, I would advise people, and I have a good head. I'm known to have a head. I can think 20 years ahead. Don't vote to rack the marriage. Vote no. And I'm saying to you straight, for your own good. Don't come back and Hynes and say, you told me, oh, Hynes, he said that. You vote no. Do not change the marriage. If they want to put a marriage in addition in for people of different sexes to try and please these EC bureaucrats, with the help of God, we'll not be much longer in the EC. Because I'm against globalisation. It's against democracy. It criticises democracy. It's a terrible thing. And like people with no money, like say in Germany, they can be borrowing money and capitalising. I'm not going to explain that now. I always say this to you, but it's another mile of the road, and I'm not going to put you off from saying. When you get to this referendum in May, think about it first. The 2 archbishops in Dublin and Armagh have said this, and we are in the matter of the Irish Catholic and Apostolic Church, very close to Rome. Now, I am saying you don't vote for same-sex marriages, not to erode the marriage we have. No, in addition can be put to the Constitution. Like it's none of, I don't know what to do in bed, and I'm not here to judge people. People can't help the way they're born, right? You can't help if you're born with talents. But do not destroy the marriage system. At the moment, they have taken too much out of the control of the parents. And the reason why that is, I suppose, the family system broke down, and instead of getting better, they made it worse. But definitely not. Listen to the CC. I think we must... someone needs to take a stand and stop it. And I would suggest, in strongest words, in terms of people, good advice. If you want to have a stable society, you need a family unit. And traditionally that was the way. Now we got a lot of liberalisation. Like I know women got kicks in the backside type of thing years ago and behind the sink. There's a lot of an awful lot of changes, and I do not see in a road that a man and a woman, they're complementary. There's different talents. And you go to your mum, you go to your daddy. There's no way I would want it to have two men, no matter how nice they were. Otherwise, next I'd be getting married to the buck goat, or I'd be wanting to marry a sheepdog or a cow, or like it's getting too far out of hand. So don't destroy those traditional married values. And you can take that from any religion, like from any society, even in a communist society. I do feel you need to keep that love in the family, because if you haven't got the family, how are you going to communicate? And the adoption of kids too needs a mommy and a daddy, I feel, although two people can adopt them, but I don't. I see trouble down the road there, so we need to make conditions that families will be more stable together. Now the government have not worked right with the housing, and a lot of people are struggling then to come up with water rates in Dublin and our places. People have not got the cash to play in the low bracket. And I'm not going to say maybe half of Ireland can't pay. And it's a disgrace the way this country has been run. And them geezers over in America, and I'll speak straight, I haven't much time for the United States President. I'd have more time for the Russian President at the moment, because I think they're more honest. And I deal with church people around the world. I used to think the sun shone out of the US President's backside. I wouldn't agree that now, because of my knowledge of having clergy in certain parts. No, they're in it for money, and it's about money. Most of these wars, there's people killed over wars, and a lot of propaganda in the media. For example, we're told a lot of muck, and we're told what they want us to know, the capitalists. So we have to be very, very careful. And we Irish people want to keep our identity. We've lost it with EC. Otherwise, we're talking bull. You may get the flag and white, but with your backside as far as it looks like, because they've taken it all away from us. So we must get back to being a democratic country. And number one, do not, help of God, we will be voting soon to leave the EC, but we have to know what structure to join. Well, I have my ideas in my head, but people say at times I'm mad, and then 10, 12 years after they're telling me all these things. You know, Hynes, you were right, we should have listened to you. What I'm saying now, take advice from a very wise fool here. And I've done a lot of studying, but at the same time I don't want to be bragging and boasting about that. The Pope says, resist the threat to marriage and family from false ideology. Raise up and defend these true values, and raise up whatever you have to raise up. There's no limits on democracy, what you can do in democracy. It's not in a golden age. Democracy can justify anything. But stop that at all costs, because it's really hit the fucking nerve. And I am saying to you, raise up. Now there's always a last resort, you have to go to violence. But if necessary, stop this bloody crazy move at the moment. Now if they want to make another rule for people separately, it must be separately from the Constitution as males getting married. You say you have to respect these people. Yes, well, we will at the moment. God made everyone in their own likeness, so we must respect them. But we still are not going to infringe on traditional married values. They must be left there intact. And I say, God bless us all, because we all fall short. But I must speak out the truth when it comes to me, what needs to be done. And I'll say it once more, raise up and defend true values. God bless you all.